said and done, you can just go back to that if you want to here on BetBoom.
Pick me Pugna.
Yes. Go for it.
I mean, why not? Like, Save obviously is enjoying playing Pugna quite a bit, I'm sure. His Pugna is something to behold. Like, last game, it just felt like they could never catch him.
10 seconds remaining.
BetBoom, they still have the option.
5 seconds remaining.
Now, last game around as well, we saw them have the opportunity to take Storm to boot. They're going to take Undying instead, which was not banned out. So Undying being one of the more popular position 5s here in the Bali Major. Mostly banned in most of the games we cast, but does make its way through to game 2 here. Gaimin,
10 seconds remaining.
How will they respond? They still have the opportunity to pick up Techies if they want to go back to that for Tofu.
Techies is still there. Pugna's there as well if they want. They go with the Morphling first. Oh boy.
Water boy. Here we go.
It's up. And you have already the Undying to turn into. So that already feels good just having Tombstone for your end. Take the Techies here as well. So you're feeling pretty damn good on the Gladiators and to just have this kind of opening. For the side of BetBoom, you can go into an AA counter if you really wanted to. Just go for the AA to counteract the Morphling, but we haven't seen a lot of teams prioritize that. Again, when we watch NA, then again it's Div 2, but in NA Div 2 they always pick up the AA up against Morph. Other teams not so much, and if you leave it into the second phase, but it's gonna get banned in that next wave of bans. So BetBoom, it's either pick it here or just look for another answer.
They'll think about it. Can pick. Get banned from the team that is picking up more for. Or are we just going to leave it and hope for the best late?
Radiant team ban.
Oh! So this is something we keep commenting about every time we see it.
Dire team ban.
Morphling generally is Morphling favored. BetBoom still go for it on their end of things though.
It has worked out before. Some Medusa games you pop off faster, you start to farm, you can apply a lot of pressure to the Morphling in laning phase. So I think that's what BetBoom are looking for. Just play around its aggressive style. Ensure that the Racho doesn't have a smooth start on the Morph. Is never able to really build into his big Ags timing. And that's where the Dusa can shine. It does farm faster even in rougher lanes. Just purely off of the split shot. So you can flash farm quite quicker into your item timings. And that's what we have to see come out here from the side of BetBoom. Just enabling Nightfall as much as possible on that Morph. And just start to
5 seconds remaining.
Hit your timings faster, play fast, kind of reminiscent of game 1. Just repeat that same kind of pacing. And the Morphling might not ever reach that point where it's a threat. We have seen rather rough games for the AM where that can happen. BetBoom for their part still respect ban out that AM. Still looking for the Dusa counters, just trying to ensure a smooth time here for the Morph.
See what game we want to ban up next. Like the Pugna was removed, so they're just going to focus on perhaps some support pickups. Maybe focus on the offlane a little bit here for the ball.
Remaining.
I'm trying to think of what they could give Pure in the offlane to make the life of this Morphling much more challenging. I think a lot of the time we see Visage coming out against Morph, which does prove to be quite strong. Don't know if Pure really wants to play Visage this game. Mind you, every time we have seen it, to be fair, Visage has looked kind of trash. So
yeah,
while it might feel good in the laning stage, it has felt pretty lackluster after that.
It has. It's not the smoothest time for that hero. Still a lot of time here for Gaimin to decide on their bans, and they take care of that Pugna.
Radiant team ban.
And take out Skywrath Mage as well. I suppose an Oracle doesn't feel good here with the Dusa because you'll lose your mana shield anyway when you take damage. Your mana melts. So
they'll ban out the Underlord.
Lord, what options are left for BetBoom to kind of pick up? for a safe save. I think this is just Toronto Tokyo playing the Undying now. So aggressive pause 4. They are taking care of a lot of the big ones in Pugnant Sky. You want some instant control
5
for the
seconds
Morphling.
remaining.
There's a funky pick and like a Lion here for save, but I don't know, it's a lot of pressure on you as a Lion. Even with Blink up, Morphling will rush into Lincolns, and suddenly your initiation onto Morphling's a lot rougher. Has to be a snap decision. Very quick mana drain into Hex. Is easier said than done. The Lincoln's break.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you still have a point though. Like, we have seen Lion popping up a lot against Morphling in quite a few games, so I wouldn't be too shocked to see it. Wouldn't mind something like a Clock either. I think Clock can do pretty alright. Rubik's still available against the techies. Always a good pick, I think, against techies. Just the spells are just so valuable to steal. The final ban is taking a bit of time here for Gaimin.
Dire team pick.
The Skyrath is not available, so you won't have that option. But I still think Rubik is pretty good, if not the Lion.
Ban out the Coddle here as well, just to ensure that BetBoom can't go for Dusa Coddle. Mystic Snake spam plus more mana.
One of the heroes you always talk about, actually, the AA is still there.
Remaining.
Yeah.
Though no team picked it up.
No one picks it up
Morph.
outside of any Div
remaining.
2. No one's been doing that. Just surprising. Like it's such a straightforward counter as well. You get a pretty good time with your shard.
I think it's just the laning that's kind of a bit awkward for AA right now. Like, I know it's meant to be a strong laning hero with Chilling Touch. But I don't...
It's that bad. I still don't think that AA's laning is the worst.
I guess not. Well, I mean, we'll see. They have the opportunity to take it here if BetBoom want it. 25 seconds of reserve time left for Gaimin.
I think your issue with an AA pick for BetBoom is that you lack some hard control.
Radiant team
Again, you have the
pick.
counter in terms of softening up the morph, but hold is not something you'll have too much of. Gaimin go into the Beastmaster. So they've got their own hold coming out. They've got a pretty stable lane for the Beastmaster to play into that Dusa. The axes build up pretty happy here. Doesn't take too long to threaten the Dusa, start to really chip away at her
10
mana pool.
seconds remaining.
You can clear out the creep army with the Medusa though, so
5
that,
seconds
but
remaining.
it does take a while. You know, dealing with a Dominator creep early on isn't the best. Dealing with an Overlord creep, not any better. So I like this coming out for Ace. Hard hold, some good tempo to play with. You get the Beastmaster Techies lane coming out here as well. It's a lot of aggression coming out there for Gaimin already in that lane.
Certainly is. 20 seconds reserve time now left for BetBoom. Both teams really respecting each other in the second pick phase. Still looking for a position 4 for save. And there's the Rubik. So they will take it for themselves. And they'll go right into the Doom for pure. So, I mean, already a really strong draft. Obviously, we've seen Medusa Doom side lanes be extremely potent. It is a much greedier style of draft, but when you consider the fact that the Morphling and Beastmaster want their own time to farm, I don't think it's going to be too bad. It's Gaimin now. Maybe looking to pick up their position 4 or 5, depending. Preferably a position 5, I think. I think you'd much rather Tofu continue on the techies. Especially against the Undying lane. They're going to go down the Shadow Demon route.
I like it as save. You can stall out a little bit on the jump in from BetBoom. You can just get more Morphling illusions out as well, get some Dusa illusions out, which can be pretty big as the game goes on.
10 seconds remaining.
You have some decent laning presence. I think a Shadow Demon Morphling lane
5 seconds remaining.
it's all right. It can threaten onto the Doom quite nicely. The issue is you're adding a lot of value onto the Rubik to steal spells. Like if he steals the save on Disruption, it's big. Steals the Demonic Purge, you're asking for
Dire
trouble.
team ban.
So there's like a double-edged sword here with a Shadow Demon pick for sure. Then again, it's always the case when you're playing into the Rubik, so you just have to be mindful of that spell usage and ensure that the Rubik doesn't get stuff like the Disruption or Purge here.
Monkey King going to be removed by BetBoom.
10 seconds remaining.
Looking for a mid to ban out for GPK, I believe.
5 seconds remaining.
Neither mid laner knows what they're going up against quite yet. I suppose Gaming could throw the
Radiant
Morphling mid.
team banned.
There's the Primal Beast being removed now from Gaimin Gladiators. We saw this last game as well.
Dire team banned.
Husker going to be removed just in case Quinn feels like busting the old Husker out. I mean, they've left the Lesh alone again. Like, if Quinn wanted to go back for the Lesh rack, try to run it back for game 2. Could be a nice option with the amount of push you have with the
10 seconds
Beastmaster.
remaining.
You could play a very fast-paced game
5
as Gaming
seconds
Gladiators
remaining.
with the Lesh rack mid. But BetBoom, last game, they were very well prepared for it, to be fair.
Radiant team pick.
Snapfire is going to be removed here. BetBoom, they'll be the first ones to take their mid.
It's not as comfy for you to try to go for the Wind Ranger here. So I don't expect them to fall back to that. Suppose you have a lot of Spirit Brothers still available overall, none of them being
10
banned
seconds
out.
remaining.
The Husker ban could indicate that you gun for something like the Ember
5
Dire
or
seconds
team
BetBoom's
remaining.
end. They go with Pango instead, so that's one way to kind of get some good aggression going. A very durable front line. Of course, you're picking Pango into Beastmaster. Well, you'll always have the Roar to stop the roll, but
Yeah.
I suppose in lane it's not going to get crushed too hard.
But do you mind that
10
too much?
seconds remaining.
Like, if Raw's expended on the Pango every single fight, I don't think they mind
5
at all,
seconds remaining.
right? Like, because the Medusa Doom are just going to have free reign.
For sure,
Gaimin.
but that's later on.
Choose
Like,
your
early
hero.
on in these fights, your Medusa Doom aren't joining you. So the Pango
Right.
will have to get this work out for himself, and that cuts into his tempo. They go into the Quinn Ember to close out. Laning matchup against Pangolier is pretty stable. We've seen this one multiple times before. It does feel like either one can find an opening depending on who does kind of overextend a little bit. So it can go either way. Should be rather interesting to see this one unfold. I'm pretty keen on seeing on what exactly gets happening here, because it should be a good back and forth. I don't think this is going to be as stompy for either side. It should be much more competitive for game number 2. So yeah, I think Gaimin can bounce back in here, get the draw. But at the same time, if BetBoom
10
are allowed to hit
seconds
this
remaining.
tempo, eventually getting that farm they'd want on Nightfall
5
and
seconds
on their
remaining.
Doom, on Pure, then you're kind of scared of that scaling up. Because it's a Dusa, it's a Doom. Even into the Morphling, if the Dusa has the farm advantage, it can still feel pretty rough for the Morph.
The race to the...
And like 3 teams being eliminated from each group. I believe we've all already seen group B slightly form up. Azure took a very quick 2-0 now, and so that locks in Nouns for elimination now. And there's still a chance for Azure to play up against Bleed, depending on the scoreline, or up against 9 Pandas. So it can go either way. It's gonna be interesting to see. Yeah, as again, this series that we're watching for Gaimin versus BetBoom, not as impactful in there. We do get the pause unpauses coming out from Nightfall, so
Back
looks
into
like
the
we're
pause.
trying. Yeah, we're trying to speak team speak issues as
Of
the
course.
pop up here. Of course, it does happen.
It does. Doesn't matter. We'll get into game number 2 rather soon, as we are going to wait out the pause by the looks of it. No point throwing to the game.
name offends me.
That other series, spoiler alert for anyone who wasn't watching. Very exciting stuff.
Should be, and we should
Away
have
now.
an exciting game. And as we head into it, we'll be able to see what these teams are up to. Again, a little bit of a quick pause at the start. So no real excitement coming out. Everyone walking to lane, no problems here. So Mike,
Yes.
Alex tweeted at us, said he
He
will
did.
put on the outfit. There you go. Will be a
Wait, who?
gladiator, Mike.
I thought he was
Alex.
telling me to put on the
No.
outfit.
Yeah, and we will have
Right.
you put it on when we are on
Okay.
LAN again. If we,
Next time
if
we're
we
on
have-
LAN, if that ever happens, Alex, I'll put on the outfit. I'll be the
Sorry,
new
Alex,
mascot.
bad chance of that.
Sully, oh, a fat joke. That's very funny, John.
No,
Very, very
I didn't
funny.
mean it that way. But you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm sorry, Mike. I forget. I
I know what you were doing, John. Wait, you forget what?
I forgot to be more sensitive around you. You're a sensible, sensitive fella with a sensitive heart, Mike. I apologize.
Oh. Yeah. Sorry about taking your job, Reshi. It's needed to happen. What can you do? Happens. Here we go. Game 2. I mean, Gaimin, even if they've already secured their upper bracket spot, I don't think they want to get too owed here. You know, we know Quinn in particular. I've spoken to the man personally. He is not a happy boy when he loses games like that. It's, Nightfall being chased down by Tofu, it seems. A bit of a fight top side, but won't mean too much as Tofu. A bit of a disruption on Nightfall, not going to amount to too much. Nightfall going to be able to walk away. Toronto Tokyo with a bit of harassment on the way out will be just fine as well. And while we're here, we can start with the bottom lane, where you are going to see Nightfall and Toronto Tokyo casually chasing down Tofu. Tofu now going to be the one to take much more damage. Well, I say much more. Not really much more, but yeah, they do kind of even out the harassment between these two.
Trading some blows. Not gonna be too bad. Forced to start with disruption, but you do get early Naga illusion switch. Aren't the tankiest, aren't the scariest, but still a fair win for Nightfall.
Radiant's courier
I
was
love what
caught
Toronto
in the
Tokyo is doing, just
crossfire.
getting really aggressive.
Somebody
Looking with the
spent a
Ks onto
lot
Ace,
of money on
knowing that
thing.
the Beastmaster, level 1, not the comfiest of times, so the axe spam is starting to stack up here. Toronto Tokyo has to respect that a little bit.
You know, keep taking the decays, but Ace just stacking up one charges now as disruption is going to fly out. No more axe charges or axe stacks are there from Ace, so he won't continue the chase. What about mid lane? You're going to have Quinn against GPK. It's like Quinn should have a decent enough time, but we've seen the Ember vs Pango matchup multiple times, and it does feel like it is slightly Pango favored. GPK already finding himself a little bit in the lead in terms of CS, but I think it should still be a pretty even match between these two.
It should be a nice back and forth on mid. Slightly Pango favored, but by the time you hit your early corrosion timing, it starts to feel pretty nice to spam back with a sleight of fist. And your Flame Guard as well, there's no easy way for GPK to mock through that. At the same time, he doesn't have too much to worry about. His right clicks are fat enough that he can hit them quite nicely onto Quinn. Starts to hurt that Ember a fair bit. Rune control is going to be the bigger. If someone can deny off a water rune from one of these top ups, say a 4-minute water rune denial, that can set tempo for the level 6 timings here.
What about that top lane, John? We haven't talked about top lane at all. Duraccio Celery against Pure and Save. Lift up onto Celery. Already a lot of damage being dealt. Infernal Blade out. Celery going to try and blast off and will not make it. Pure has enough. Duraccio now forced to back away. Full strength morph on his way out, just to ensure he remains protected. But a great first blood pickup by BetBoom, realizing how far they can push their heroes. And all that gold going the way of Pure. You got to be happy about that as the Doom.
It's going to be an early Vanguard timing coming out here for Pure. I love that he goes for the 0-1-1 build, going for the 0-2-1 build now. Just not needing Devour, not wanting to play slow. He wants to be aggressive in this lane. He wants to look for that punishment when anyone does come in, when Celery lines up for the blast off. And it's a lot of laning pressure. And Doom will still eventually find a farm with CS anyway. So he's going to be feeling good here on Pure, just having this laning presence coming out. 1-0 so far. No big action outside of that kill. You're, again, starting off with a good foundation for the side of BetBoom, considering this laning start. Nightfall's not being pressured at all on that Medusa down bot. You're just finding your farm up against Ace. And That is a little bit of concern. Again, the Dusa up against the Morph. It can flash farm a little bit faster on the Dusa once you have the commitment for split shot, and if you get stacks. You can get that going here, then should at least maintain a 1k, 2k lead over the Morphling down the line. And if you can play around that early tempo of Dusa having these earlier items, that's where the Morphling can sort of fall flat, depending on how much Diracho can get here.
Save dropping quite low himself. We'll go for a fade bot onto Diracho.
Precious bounty.
Bottom lane, a bit more action breaking out. Nightfall very low on mana. Literally has no mana at the moment. Tofu might look for a setup. Not that hard to take the Medusa down with 250 HP, but Mystic Snake will hand him a bit more mana back, as it seems like they'll even drop the Tombstone preemptively by Toronto Tokyo. Not going to amount to any kind of kill towards Ace, but it will at least allow the space for Nightfall. It's like Tofu never really found the opening to go in for a disruption play. Instead just trying to contest the small camp pull from Toronto. Let's actually get away with it as well. Toronto not able to quite get the pull off, so unfortunate for Nightfall, who has to try and farm underneath the Dire tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, top lane, Diracho dropping a little bit low is going to be okay. Save was on the chase, but doesn't have the lift up to abuse. Twin gate usage is there by Celery down towards the bottom lane now. Tofu though, already finding Nightfall. A nice start as Toronto Tokyo trying to run, but here comes Celery with the sticky bomb, getting another. Not only do they find the Medusa, but they'll find the Undying with it.
Nice set of pickoffs. Nightfall just being a little bit too far forward, comps way too many axes, and eventually just gets run down. You know, with Mana Shield empty, Shadow Poison just kills you off so fast with 4 stacks up. I have to respect that. Diracho is left by himself, but he does have the attribute shift. He has enough mana. Not going to be under too much threat here from the aggression on BetBoom. Still, for BetBoom's part, they've got the mana burn creep. He's just ready to try and make this as hard as possible for Diracho to maintain that presence here.
That he will. Mid lane, Tofu may get caught. Toronto Tokyo drops the Tombstone, gets the Blood Grenade off. Tofu trying to take the zombies out while he can, but the swashbuckle from GPK and the last DK from Toronto Tokyo are going to be more than enough. It's Quinn. He's actually out of mana. You know, he'll use the sticks. He'll have just enough mana to remnant away. GPK did have Rolling Thunder if he wanted to chase, but decides better of it. Won't bother trying. Now another Blood Grenade from Toronto with the double damage, wanting the chase down onto Celery. Celery looks like he's going to be just fine anyway. It's a hand up, high five from Toronto Tokyo, and that'll be enough.
Not going to be able to find too much here. Little Toronto, it still has the maxed out stick charges, so it has a little bit of burst mana to play with along with the Lotus, but not too much. Still camping around for Nightfall.
Diracho. Top lane, a bit of a chase. Looks like he's going to be fine.
Yes.
Bottom lane, a big surround. They've got the Medusa in this disruption. Blast off will follow up. Nightfall already low on mana, trying to get his way out of this, but now he's completely out. He needs the help. The Mystic Snake, it'll give him the life he needed with the mana pool to be able to survive. Tofu is the one to go down. They will not be able to secure.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Some mass commitment out, but it's worthwhile to save Nightfall. You find the trade back that does take the Lotus out from Nightfall as well. Again, more than worth it, considering that you don't die. Gaimin this time around should be able to snag away the Wisdom Runes. Quinn sneaking his way across. GPK's here though. Okay. Manages to steal that away from Quinn. Took a long walk out, doesn't find it, but can always remnant back, I suppose.
Yeah, that he will. Much more even game so far. 1k net worth lead to BetBoom. But you have a Doom Medusa, so it makes enough sense that you are going to have the net worth advantage throughout most stages of the game.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
At the very least, it is 3-2, which is already a much better scoreline than what we saw last game as well. So BetBoom not having anywhere near as dominant laning stage as they did in game 1. GPK going to be chased, gets the Rolling Thunder. The disruption will do nothing, but Tofu did commit it.
Tower is under attack.
GPK Sure, he loses Rolling Thunder, but he won't mind too much. He will survive, and he does get the Arcane Rune for himself.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Pretty happy about that. I have to say, it's a little bit funny. Buff immunity. I didn't realize. GPK
You still get the
Rolling
illusions.
Thundered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Disruption will still always give you illusion. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Why?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I have no idea, John.
Radiant's
No
middle
idea.
tower is under attack.
I mean, it
Bottom
looks
lane-
funny now, but once you have like the fusel up, those illusions will hurt.
That is true. Very true, John. Bottom lane. There was 3 heroes here from BetBoom. Celery's going to just move out of there and he just goes straight for the ancient stacks in the dire triangle. 3 heroes from BetBoom still sticking around, but the opening is not going to be there against Gaimin.
Never refuse gold given.
Durachi has been left top lane to farm on his own. Mind you, his net worth has been suffering a lot. Like, Pure's been doing a great job of not allowing him to feel safe on this Morphling whatsoever. See, that mana drain is so annoying for Durachio because he just can't ensure that he can strength morph at the right moments. BetBoom, they're going to group up top lane, go for this tier 1 top. Meanwhile, mid lane, bit of a setup, trying to go onto GPK, but he has the Rolling Thunder once again. Won't even use it, just pump faking now as Quinn still hanging around, trying to secure this kill onto GPK. PK really playing on the edge on this Pangolier, is going to find a way out.
Dances around, doesn't get the best use out of his arcane, but with a bailout, you're more than happy. It's quite a fair bit of commitment that's coming out from Gaimin here. We'll drag Toronto, Tokyo, and 10 with Rune about to come up.
Quinn gonna try for this. We'll be able to remnant down towards the bottom side where the Invis Rune does spawn. It's a bit unlucky for BetBoom. Setting up on the top rune spot, finding nothing. Quinn will still be able to walk away. But I think BetBoom, if they're allowed to just sit here and farm, I'm pretty sure they're more than happy with the game state. I don't think they care too much about having a fast game. You've got a Doom, you've got a Medusa. You just want to hit creeps.
That you do, and they are hitting creeps quite nicely on the side of BetBoom. Pure number 1 in net worth. Everyone else, Nightfall and GPK not too far behind. You are at farm parity at the least for Gaimin. Again, most of this net worth difference is on the Doom. And Duracho may be lagging a bit further behind than you'd want to on the morph, but to be expected coming into a rough lane with Pure. So I don't think Gaimin minds as much as well. As long as Duracho can kind of close this gap down the line, ensure he's not like a full item behind, then Morphling can still play into this matchup. Key thing for Gaimin here is, when do we see their tempo? Ace is going for the Ags build-up on the Beastmaster in this game. Not going for the Aurus, not going for something like, say, a Crimson Guard, which I think counteracts the Medusa in a big way. Instead, wanting that presence for these fights. But you don't have illusion spam coming out here from BetBoom, so it's not like the most impactful Ags build-up on Ace. It's still big up front, I suppose, so the investment will pay off here.
Bottom lane, bit of a group up now from BetBoom. Quinn's going to show up and take a creep wave. Meanwhile, mid lane, GPK's got a Rolling Thunder on Celery. Celery, oh, nice little sidestep, and the swash is not enough. Celery somehow making it out of that scenario. Tips out towards GPK as well. Very nice.
Dire's middle tower is under
Just
attack.
a little bit of a dancing around. No kills coming out.
Look at you.
Again, game has slowed down. You're just farming up a Storm on Nightfall. Manta not too far off. Did give all the stacks away to Ace, so his Ags timing should be pretty on point. About 2.1k away from that. This could break that monotony though. GPK with the diffusal up should start to be able to find these kills, start to play with that inhibit, play with the mana burn, have a much better time in locking in even the softer support kills. Let's see if that's the point where they start going. Quinn on the hunt.
Oh, Nightfall, he's around the area. Got a couple heroes here from Gaimin. Quinn will make his presence known with the Sleight of Fist. Nightfall is still very healthy in the mana department, but his mana pool is at about 940, so you can burst through that quite fast. Quinn is still just chipping away at that. GPK is going to show his face. Quinn going to try and remnant out of here. Nightfall is keeping up tabs on Quinn. So Quinn will leave the area. You know, chipping away at the Medusa with the sleight of fist, but Nightfall, he doesn't really flinch.
No, there's just no steady follow-up for that sort of poke and prod play from Quinn. Ace is around the area, Celery as well, but pretty deep dive to try to commit onto the tier 1. BetBoom can easily re-engage in that area, of course. And they just play this farm game. Got the Midas up on Pure. Going for a quick blink, and we'll want to start playing around that. Heck, he doesn't even get the value point into Doom right now for Pure. Just going all in on farm. Should be able to pick that up rather soon, though.
Save. Oh, he got the strength morph. Always a great feeling for the Rubik. Suddenly Save has 1.7k HP on the Rubik now. That's an amazing feeling here for Save.
Radiant's middle
Remember
tower
those memes
is
back in the
under
day where Rubik would accidentally agimorph? Just got stuck with it forever.
Yep.
I think there was a YouTube clip where you could rocket. He just kept getting rocket flared every time he respawned at the fountain. Something like it was either that or AA Ice Blast. It's hilarious.
Yep. You just die. Yeah. No one does that nowadays.
No.
And the Dota player base has grown smarter over time, Mike. Now you just go full strength.
Wouldn't go that
Never
far,
go
John.
full at you. Smarter than before. It's not a high barrier, Mike. I'm not really stating too big of a compliment. It's not high of a barrier, considering where we were before. Smoke out here from BetBoom. See if they find an angle.
3-man rotation down bottom. Gaimin, they do have 4 heroes here as well, so Quinn should be relatively safe. In fact, Mines are going to reveal the smoke. BetBoom running right towards them. Blast off away is going to be nice from Celery to buy him a little bit of space to move. GPK is still chasing him down. Meanwhile, Quinn, he will hold the rest of them back. They will lose Celery. Only one down so far for Gaimin. But GPK wants more. Moving forward, here comes Durachia from the north flank. From the north, they have found the Medusa, locked him down, but the Stone Gaze is still not being used up. Eventually does get committed. Won't really matter though. They were just illusions.
Dire's couriers gone down in flames.
2 going down for Gaimin. BetBoom, get away with this.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Just a good collapse coming out there from BetBoom into Gaimin's triangle. Again, just starting to play aggressively, going with that smoke angle. Not really finding the biggest core kills, but finding 2 supports in a deadlock game is certainly a nice feeling to have. We're still waiting for Nightfall to finish up this butterfly rush anyway. And he's getting the space to do so. They shove in the bot tier 1. No contestation coming out from Gaimin. 5k lead stands for BetBoom now. And your timings are starting to line up. And the blink not too far off for Pure here. Disassembles into the pipe inside. Once you've got the blink Doom, locking in something like the Morphling becomes easier. Duracho not too far away from his own Lincolns to protect. So there should be a good surprise factor coming out here. Forward side of Gaimin once stats have been running, but
Tombstone down, Tofu going to be targeted first. A very easy pick off to take as Tofu is already down. Quinn, Celery, both trying to run. But does have the Doom available, so Gaimin have to be extremely cautious. Mind you, Ace now does pick up the Aghanim Scepter, so you will have the Drums of Slom available now for this defense, but it doesn't seem like Gaimin can really hope to defend, though they are still trying. T1 tower now extremely low. Ace, he's going to be the target. Nightfall will go for the chase, but Ace will walk his way out.
Tower is under attack.
You do get some level 3 chains on save. So he could hope to lock somebody down now as Pure gonna go for the Doom, does find Quinn with that. GPK with the Rolling Thunder trying to find the Ember. Instead they'll focus on Celery. That's your techie's gone. Pure is still alive as Tofu will follow. Tofu going down with his support brethren. Meanwhile, Toronto Tokyo dropping pretty low to Ace. They chain them up. Duraccio win. He gets one. He gets GPK. Duraccio, how much can he clean up? He'll get the chains out now. That'll be a triple for Duraccio.
Radiant's top tower
The perfect morph into the Rubik. He got the lift and the chains out. From save. And 3 heroes for the morph. The mid-tier 1 tower does remain standing for Gaimin. BetBoom getting caught with their pants down in the mid lane. Is even top lane Pure. Not going to be safe. Quinn rushing in. Pure lands a 2-man stomp. Quinn, oh, he misses the chains. Unfortunate, the creep wave does come in at the right moment. They do miss out on the Pure kill. Still a great fight in the mid lane for Gaimin though.
It opens up a lot. They still have the network lead here for BetBoom, but they're ramping up now on the morph. Oh.
Drops a tombstone, but he just gets deleted. Duraccio finding his 4th of the game now. 4-0 on the morphling. Oh, and it's getting scary. Duraccio is getting close to the Ags. That's the scary part.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
It becomes really obnoxious for you to play the Medusa in this matchup. Heck, even turning into something like the Pango with his stats taking away is massive. GPK?
GPK, he needs the Rolling Thunder. Chains are going to lock him down. Disruption not chained that well. Quinn's going to run out of mana anyway to the Diffusal Blade of GPK, so won't bother trying any further as bottom lane. Ace actually draining all the mana of Nightfall, forcing the Stone Gaze to be committed. Nightfall will naturally just retreat right after the Stone Gaze committal. Now props to GG, even with the net worth deficit. They are keeping up and finding some good trades on their side of things.
They're doing what they have to do, which is apply some pressure early, try to use this Morphling's early tempo and protection with the Linken's up.
They are running right towards the morph with this smoke. Duraccio, he just waveformed. Save, lift, not going to be there yet. Remnants forward. Duraccio still very cool though. Still agi-morphing. Not afraid whatsoever of save. Sadly for save, he was lacking the vision for the lift back. So Duraccio not going to be a victim of this this smoke. Going to be just fine.
Back to farm. Needs that full Ags up. Again, with the Linken's to protect. Your initiation is a little bit more convoluted from the side of BetBoom. You're still farming up a Storm here on Nightfall, but he doesn't have a major lead. Like 2k above, item above, 1 component above in terms of his built-up items. Waiting for the Butterfly next, not too far off. But I think Nightfall's not going to be comfy until he gets more stats. Has to be something like the Scotty coming out afterwards. Just to have a little bit more HP on have a lot more int as well. That reduces EHP in that way. Side of Gaimin. Again, your patience is paying off for Duraccio. Quinn is going for his own Linken's to protect.
What are these odds?
The Ags have felt significant from Ace.
The odds can't be that bad, can they?
That is kind of insane.
All right, I mean, great odds to take if you're a Gaimin fan. I don't think they're that far behind in this game too. Quinn, chains out. On save. There's a tombstone down from Toronto. Duraccio in the middle of all this will waveform away. Meanwhile, Save not finding a raw target yet, as they are going to lose Celery, and now the Doom comes out. Pure not going to allow the Beastmaster any kind of play. They do take down Ace. Duraccio trying to run out of there. We'll get to the Lotus Pool. Needs a TP. It is cancelled by Pure. He could try to take the Lotus while he's here. He won't even get that. Maybe the odds were right, John. Maybe the odds were right.
Perhaps they were, Mikey. As you say, you know, Gaimin's not too far behind. They get wiped. Alex is going to be very pissed at you. You just cursed him. As the roof starts to fall here, really good angles being found from BetBoom. Really just down to save, right? Like this Rubik gets caught out, has the remnants, has a remnant back and a remnant forward. So it just dances around stalling for time. And the rest of the team just collapse onto him very nicely. Gaimin, very scattered in that fight, not able to open up with the roar, not able to use that roar at all, and Duraccio just has to run in. But with all of his team dead, it's an easy time to break that Linken's. find that opening. Now you have to deal with 2 lives on Nightfall. With that full butterfly up on the Dusa, she hits like a truck.
Under attack.
And split shot or not, the damage coming out from Nightfall is huge, and just the evasion and the mischance coming in provide a lot of EHP for the Dusa to rely on. And it's into the Scotty afterwards. So you got that up and running on you. The Deuce is not going to be too worried. Duracho almost done with the Yags, but
Quinn. I suppose it's lucky Pure did not have Doom available, because Pure was right around that remnant. And BetBoom, prime position to try and force in this bottom tier 2 tower. Nightfall's going to get it started. Hesitate just a little bit, but does have the Aegis up for 4 minutes, so plenty of time.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Seems like Gaimin, I mean, they're going to bring Duracho down bottom, but that's about it. Duracho will be in charge of defending. In fact, they are going to TP now. Duracho, though, losing a lot of HP to Nightfall. He's going to continue strength morphing. Nightfall, very low on mana, but just can't really be dealt with. Sure, you get through the mana pool, but you can't get through the HP pool of Nightfall.
Tower is under attack.
You'll have plenty of time to try and reset.
Tower is under attack.
Doesn't even need it.
here
Gonna move back
they'll
in.
have the Aegis. They can just go for the push. You have enough mana for Mystic Snake at the very least. And even if you do get a reset, again, not the biggest deal, because it does feel like to force the reset out from Nightfall, you'd have to put yourself in a pretty awkward position for Gaimin, where you can get punished by the Doom. You can get punished by Rolling Thunder. BetBoom just looking to take away these objectives. We'll go for the Tormentor. Another free shard going their way here. We'll go on to Toronto, Tokyo. So now you've got the Tombstone saves that can come out. She's pretty impactful.
Pure.
Shard is silly.
Pure, he has found Quinn. Mid lane, the Doom is out. Celery is going to try and save Quinn's life. The chase is on from Pure. He's ignoring Celery altogether. He just wants the Ember Spirit, and he's got him again. Another stun out. Pure taking down NA's finest. Celery will follow up with that as well, going to the grave with his mid player. And Pure, so dangerous to play against John. This man, he sees the opportunity, he takes it every time. Zero hesitation from Pure.
And just jumps in. These are big kills he's finding as well, and he's confident knowing that with Octarine up, Doom cooldown, it's not the worst thing in the world to wait for. You'll always have it for the next little jump. They'll just go back for their own Tormentor now. They will find the Rubik Shard. You do barely survive that one for save, but well worthwhile. Now you've got the lift back saves, which can be massive in little just to reposition and reduce it from danger. Gonna be a big boon here for the side of BetBoom. Gaimin, Ags is up on Duracho. MKB not too far away. So he can start to have a lot more impact on the morph, but this doesn't feel like Gaimin have been able to play around this morphling just yet. They need to kind of center themselves around the Water Boy. Try to find some safe angles for Duracho. Back him up when he does decide to play aggressive. If he does decide to play aggressive. And for Gaimin, and for the most part, they have been just dodging as best they can in a farm game, which might too much with a morph, but you have to worry a little bit that the Dusa and the Doom can get a lot more off the map every single time you're just sitting farming.
Now top lane. The push starts. Gaimin, they're going to start with the bottom tier 2 towers. They have found save. Easy Rubik pick off. Save caught out of position here by Gaimin. That bottom tier 2 tower not going to last very long here to Gaimin, but they do at least get the top tier 2 for BetBoom's end of things. They will at least in just a moment. Glyphs forced out from both sides. I think Gaimin will appreciate this this trade, because they're the ones that don't really want to force a fight right now. Mid lane, Duracho has to be uber careful. There is a Doom available on Pure.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
He will make it out with the waveform, however.
Has fallen.
Pure did not want to go into a
Dire's
full
top
squad of
tower
Gaimin.
is under attack.
7k advantage to BetBoom, but the game is still very even.
Dire's
61%
top tower is under
chance of BetBoom winning compared to the 39% of Gaimin.
Dire's top
That
tower
is still
has
very
fallen.
close. That's one team fight, basically.
It's a lot more competitive game one, at the very least here. Full Scotty up and running now on Nightfall. Aegis does expire. So if you misplay here for BetBoom, it's a massive opening for Gaimin. Just need to see the effect of Duracho with the Ags, and not showing it off yet. Gaimin playing a very patient game.
They're gonna TP away, mostly anyway. They'll have Celery, Ace, and Tofu around this bottom side, so it seems like Celery's gonna be spotted by Save. Doesn't quite get in range with the blink to get the lift off though, so Celery's still gonna be okay to run away with the reactive taser. They could look towards Ace, but they are lacking the vision of the Beastmaster at the moment. Quinn's going to join his team once again with an Arcane Rune now up. Roar is committed. Who have they got? It's going to be Save, but the Tombstone grab is there. Toronto Tokyo making a bit of time for this Rubik to survive through all of this, as Ace is the one getting caught out. Celery is down with the blast off, at least taking down the Undying, and now Pure is the target, but they've got Ace down. They've got Celery down, and Duraccio, he is being chased. Lincolns will save from the doom of Pure. Quinn is also a target they can try for, but Pure, he is going to get annihilated by Duraccio. The adaptive strike going to be enough, but they've lost GPK as well. GPK not able, or can buy back. Quinn will fall to boot. So a 3 for 3 in the end, I believe. And it was. The net worth does favor Gaimin with those exchanges happening. I suppose you do get Duraccio out, which is the main kind of deal here for a game, and just make sure the Morphling survives through all these engagements.
They're not able to get the Doom off from Pure. You need to have a Lincoln's Burst on this Doom. The War Stomp is useful, but a little bit awkward with no targeted items here. So you can't just easily get the Doom off. Perhaps you can just buy yourself around that issue here on the Doom, get the Ags down the line. Going their way on Pure, that could be the route they go instead. That should still have some impact up against Gaimin for their part. And starting to find these fights, starting to feel extra strong on Duracho. Turning into the Pango, universal type, steal away 40% of all his stats. Very balanced for Duracho to have on the Morphling. Of course. Let's see if BetBoom kind of clean up a little bit. They just need a good Doom to somehow come out if they pierce that Lincoln's.
Mid lane, Celery. I don't know, they're around with the mines. Tombstone dropped immediately. Celery jumping in with the blast off just to allow his cause a way out. Celery will go down for 40. Gaimin not too interested in a fight, I don't think, though they are still hanging around, but disruption was onto an illusion from Nightfall. Mind you, these illusions with the disruption, it will cause Nightfall and his team a lot of problems in the middle of these fights. It's Gaimin, even after losing Celery, they will still push in the mid-tier one, the mid lane. And they won't get punished anywhere else. Celery's going to be able to respawn just fine.
Yeah, no big issues here for Gaimin. In the state of equilibrium for BetBoom and Gaimin, I feel like it doesn't really favor BetBoom until you start to hit the Ags reality here. The Pure, which is still a ways off. The AoE Doom is really the next fight. Beyond that, it's all about positioning. It's all about trying to outplay. Gaimin has a little bit more ease there, just with the saves they have here under draft, with the Lincolns being up, with the disruption being on top there as well. It's not the easiest time out of BetBoom to find one and go. So you're still forced to respond and sort out their lanes.
Mid lane.
Ace.
Lift up. Chains out. They've caught Ace. He's going to try and TP out there, but they've got the Raw stolen. Save. Lift into the chains. Now with the Raw up. We'll find Ace. Duraccio at least gets Toronto Tokyo up the top lane, but it's not a good trade for Gaimin. And next fight, you've got to be worried about this Raw from Save. He's gonna have it off cooldown in 25 seconds.
That's where things get a lot scarier. Roaring to stop the roll here, but giving it away for free is it's not the play. BetBoom, with that roar ready on their side, with how far your range is on that roar, start to feel confident now to find map control back your way on BetBoom's end. They are inching towards this full Daedalus coming in here for our Dusa. The damage output on Nightfall, it's just set to skyrocket. GPK going back for his blink. Cure, and just kind of hanging on right now, but starting to feel massive on that Doom. I would love to see him go for the Ags. Instead, he is going for the refresh first. Let's see if that starts to pay off. Gaimin going after the smoke here.
They will. Bottom lane is where they'll head. They see Nightfall on the Dusa. Illusions will be left behind. Top lane also being forced in by Dorachio, so they've got to try and address the top lane. In fact, Pure, he's jumped in. He'll break the Lincolns himself. Dorachio thought he could get away with this.
Dire's couriers gone down
Pure,
in flames.
seeing how many players were down at the bot lane from Gaimin, just makes the immediate jump in. And he has the seed shot to break the Lincolns quickly.
Radiant's middle tower is under
It's a very easy pick off there for Pure.
Invisibility.
Finally switching things up in his neutral. And the War Stomp is nice, but you really just want the Pierce to beat the Lincolns and get control out that way. Again, you are establishing that solid lead for Nightfall. Roshan opens up off the back of that kill as well. Roshan number 2 with Aegis and Cheese. BetBoom playing a slower game, but still in control. The 10k lead up with Roshan going out with no contest on the side of Gaimin.
Radiant's middle tower is
Things start to look pretty spicy. There's an opportunity for the high ground here for sure. Doom isn't too far off for Pure. So you can look to start to get more of the map under your way and start to look to try and choke out Gaimin if at all possible.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Through the bot lane they go. Aegis up. Daedalus almost up. In fact, there it is for Nightfall now.
Radiant's middle tower is
4k net worth advantage. We know Dorachio, like if the Doom's on him, it's just the fight's as good as done. And it's really proving not to be that challenging for Pure to get those Dooms off as Gaimin. Well, they're trying to smoke up, be a little bit cheeky. Tofu gets disruption. Roar out onto Toronto. They'll take the Undying down. Now they've got the Medusa trapped up. This is a big one. They might get rid of the Aegis very early on, but he does pop the Stone Gaze. Ace does get petrified as Quinn is still trying to chase Nightfall down. Will not connect with the Sleight of Fist chains though. So they'll hunt for a little bit more. They'll see Pure on the Doom. Pure using the Scorched Earth and Blink to get out. Quinn still not within range for the Sleight of Fist chains. Is continuing to try and chase but can't reach them. Unfortunate for Gaimin. I suppose at least they get away with an Undying kill, but that's about it.
It's not too bad. Again, you're kind of forcing the issue into Aegis. You're preventing BetBoom from going into the high ground off the back of a team fight. Overall, you're still stalling this game out for Gaimin. You're still buying space out for Dorachio, allowing the Morph to try to keep this build up. As the MKB up, going into the Scotty. Dorachio is starting to have some solutions out for the Dusa. I am still concerned about how much they are allowing Pure to get away with though. Has their refresh recipe just lacking the 2 cornucopias, has enough gold for 1 cornucopia. And the double Doom is where things get really, really dangerous. Like a Doom up into Dorachio, Doom up on Quinn, that's where things go southbound.
Scary indeed, John. And Dorachio like trying to farm towards that Skadi timing now after the MKB. BetBoom taking back the Dire Triangle. Excuse me, the Dire Jungle. They'll take the outpost away from Gaimin again. Looking towards that top tier 3 tower. Quinn already prepped up to defend this. Nightfall. A little bit of hesitation. We'll move in now. Half mana and on the Deuce, but has the Aegis for 2.5 minutes. We'll get the illusions out. Nightfall. Again, it's not going to be the easiest high ground siege. Plenty of ways to burn through the mana pool of Nightfall with this high ground, unless they lose Quinn. Oh, he's been doomed up. Just immediately out with a very cheeky ward placement on the high ground. Quinn is down with no buyback. Look at that ward jump. Right in the top left corner.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Sneaky one. Seen that a couple of times before and pays off here.
Radiant's middle
Just
tower
outside of vision.
Adam Manor is the Medusa.
Tower is under attack.
Nightfall. You get disrupted by save. Saving once again.
Dire's top tower has
Nightfall
fallen.
not backing off. Still a minute 45 on the Aegis. May just accept the reset. No, he'll eat the cheese. No reset for me.
Tower is under attack.
Not the... Wait.
Oh,
Doom committed. Bottom lane. He's got Durachio. Pure.
their structures.
You just can't keep your eyes off this guy. He's always doing something. Durachio is gone. GPK to take that one while they're still pushing the top racks.
you are out of mana fully now for Nightfall, but again, Aegis, still a full minute left. The stolen disruption for save. Spam out the illusions, clear out the mines. And that's the beauty of the Rubik in this game. You just keep stealing all the big spells. Nightfall wouldn't mind dying here right now, honestly, with that lack of mana pool. They have managed to stall for enough time for the respawns at the least.
Dire's
But they'll
top
lose the
barracks
racks.
have fallen.
Well, they'll lose the Aegis at least, but it was its part. Not a big deal. Can they punish the Medusa? Nightfall, gonna be a lot more cautious now. They've got the grab ally with the Tombstone, which makes it kind of hard though. If they can't deal with the Tombstone, you've always got a bit more save for this Medusa. They'll continue throwing everything but the kitchen sink onto her. Disruption again from Tofu. Pure is in though. Pure breaks the Lincolns of Quinn. Has Doom back up in 10 seconds, by the way.
Barracks have fallen.
As they do claim the top racks. They've got to be careful. BetBoom may not back off. They might go again. Celery is down by save.
Is under attack.
These Medusa illusions from save with the disruption. Just doing so much work for him. And the thing is, again, Doom is available. Maybe not the double Doom for another 40 seconds, but it only takes one Doom to finish this game.
It only takes one.
Dire's middle tower
Just
is
need that
under
one
attack.
big Doom on either Quinn or Duracho. Take them out of that fight. And the scary thing is, Pure could still go for the
Dire's middle
Ags.
tower is under attack.
If you had Ags on Doom with double Doom, that's where you don't have counterplay on side of Gaimin. BetBoom does feel like they've got this game moderately locked in. One set of racks up, 16k up. Reducer just growing bigger and bigger as time goes on. Going for the full Swift Blink next. What more could you ask for here for Nightfall? As long as he always has the save coming out from save, then you're pretty happy.
Dire's middle
Save
tower is under attack.
always lives up to the name, Mike. Every single time we see him.
Save is doing a brilliant job, that's for sure. And like it's one thing, right? Like Tofu desperately wants to make sure disruption doesn't go the way of this Ruby. Because like, you saw Save just casually killing off Celery with the Medusa illusions last team fight. Makes it much easier for you to safely push up high ground as well, with the extra illusions that Save can now provide. So we'll go again. Wrong Thunder not committed yet, but Pure, he got the Doom off again. They found the Morphling. Durachio saved for now, but not for long. He is down. Ace, the next target. Buybacks are incoming. Ace, can he get out? He barely can. But they've got to try and punish. BetBoom running now. GPK is down. That's one target. Save will be the next target on the chopping block. The save should drop. Eventually made just as he does go. Durachio. Love Nightfall, but another Doom out. Durachio.
Pure!
Pure. This guy is just Ridiculous.
Look at you go. Hacking at limbs.
That's a dieback. Durachia's gone. They've got to fight without their morphling. They are trying. GPK's gonna buy back. Nightfall completely surrounded, but look at this Giga Chat just manning up against the whole squad of gamers. And they are melting. GG calls surely coming soon. Quinn trying his best to clear up as best he can. He gets Nightfall. That's one down. Quinn, can he do it? Save. There he gets it. The Emperor's gone. Die back on Quinn. The last piece of the puzzle. It's gonna be Tofu. Tofu was down. Full team wipe. 2 times around. GG's hole. GG is called BetBoom. I mean, John, I'll tell you. I know this is gaming we're talking about, but BetBoom, they made it look kind of easy.
That they did. Just start to finish. Control once more coming out from them. Sure, a couple more shining moments here for Gaimin,